views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause it's the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas. I am so excited about my guest today. She's really an incredible woman. I think it's the perfect way to start off the new year, and in fact, she just came out with this book that, once again, I think it's the perfect way to get your life going, and she's really just done amazing things, and I think it's the kind of positivity we need in 2021. So I have Miss Sterling Mire with me. So hi, Sterling. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about this, and I'm ready to go.
Yes, let's do it. And you're joining us from California, correct?
Yes, that is.
Yeah, so thank
Beverly
you so
Hills.
much. Yeah, and so like I said, you just had this brand new book called out. It's AOM, Art of Manifestation, which I'm a huge believer in. I'm just kind of new into it, so I'm not really experienced at all, but I think it's a great thing and a great concept, and I truly believe it, and it's already changed my life a lot. So why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself and your new book?
Yeah, so this new book is it is my system, right?
Yeah.
I've had this system now for 20 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
talk about tried and true.
Right.
And I actually spent 5 years perfecting it. You know, I'm what I call a healthy skeptic. So I really wanted to put it to the test over a course of 5 years. A-Bing and, just experimenting until it was just perfect. But then, being the healthy skeptic, I still wanted to test it with other people. So clearly it worked for me, and foolproof. It's an airtight system, right? It can't go wrong with this. But I still got a test group together of 15 people and had them apply the system to their lives. Mm-hmm. And the results were phenomenal. We're talking about 90 to 100% of what people wanted to manifest actually happened easily, effortlessly, with fun and vitality. And that is really exciting. And I encourage them to go for it. I said, you create anything you want, like you have a magic genie, not what you think you can have, not what you think is possible, but really, approach this like you have a genie, and let's take it from there, And that was what was so extraordinary and so exciting to see, what looked like a lifetime of achievements actually happening so quickly and within such a short period of time. So when I work with my clients, I not only guide them to be able to manifest what they want, but for them to also master the manifestation process within 30 days.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool.
30 days, that's incredible.
30 days, yeah.
Wow.
And it's through the manifesting all this magic and miracles in their lives that they're able to really see how they're doing it. And they do this because every day they get to create the perfect ideal day. And then at the end of the day, when they review it, they go, oh my gosh, 90% of everything I created happened. 100% created what I wanted to happen, right?
Yeah.
And from there, they're able to review with the tools that they're given. They're able to review and see exactly how it got created. And that's what leads to mastering the manifestation process.
I gotcha. No, I think that's amazing. And, I think people, a lot, like you said, there's a lot of people out there that are skeptical and stuff. And I think it's, like you said, the healthy skeptic, it's good to be. But manifestation is proven to be legitimate and completely work. And that's how you have all these billionaires and stuff, and these really famous people, a lot of them, most of them, really did master manifestation, and it's such an important thing. And I believe that's also why you have a very big celebrity client list too. So I think it's an amazing thing that you made this book too to help everybody with it.
Oh, absolutely. I wanted this system to be available to everyone. And
Yeah.
I have every modality imaginable. People can work with me one-on-one. They can do group sessions. They can read the book. They can take some of my seminars or my classes and things like that. I've worked with top companies like Google and the Lifetime Channel and the Beverly Wilshire Hotel and Hilton and Hyatt, lots of corporate companies as well. So I have like really a modality to suit anyone and everyone, because my number one goal is that no constraints or limitations should stop you from having access to this information. And the only difference between an extraordinary person or a person who has fulfilled like an ideal life, the only difference between that person and somebody else is just having this information, this knowledge. Now, the thing that's really interesting, Corey, is that I had a client, she was on my radio show just last Wednesday, and she was talking to me. I mean, her life is so unrecognizable in every single area in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So I interviewed her on the show because it's so extraordinary. And one of the things she said is like, I have spent so much time and money and effort working with anybody from a therapist to coaches to reading all the books to doing seminars, whatever. She said, I have just run out of options, and here I am coming to you. And she goes, this is the only thing that's ever worked. This is the only thing that's ever worked for her. And she's so excited that she finally found what she was looking for. And that's because this system is so airtight, it's so foolproof that it works for everybody 100% of the time if you do it exactly the way it's designed.
Yeah.
So there's no freestyling. You can't kind of do it your own way or kind of,
Right.
if you just simply follow the steps exactly the way it's outlined, everything will fall into place. So it's a no-brainer. You don't even have to understand what you're doing. However, through the experience of it, you will understand it.
Yeah.
So when we look at self-help books, we're looking at conceptual learning, right? It's really food for thought. What you're doing is you're reading it. And I give you a really great analogy. Let's say that you wanted to be an amazing cook, or you wanted to specialize in baking cakes, right? And you read a book and it tells you about all the cakes you could make and the ingredients involved in cake making, right? And you're so versed in, you understand it so much, but then you shut the book and you don't know how to make cakes. Why? They didn't give you a recipe. You need a recipe, right? You can't just know about the ingredients. You can't just be familiar with the information, because that doesn't give you anything to work with.
Yeah.
So the way we change a faulty belief system is through experience and creating new evidence to replace the old faulty belief system that's gotten in our way, that stopped us from really realizing all the magic and miracles that can be had on a daily basis.
No, that is a great point, and you're completely right. And it's smart to think of it that way too. And I like I said, I truly believe in it, and I probably within the past few months have just kind of started to get into it very slowly, but in the little bit I have, you realize such a major difference. And I haven't even looked at your system to do, which I'm so excited to get into, because like you said, with the results, I can't imagine what's to come. So I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to hear that too. I've had a lot of clients that I had clients that have been working with, law of attraction or manifesting for maybe 20 years, and they were still coming upon stumbling blocks or unanswered questions or issues and problems. And they were like, oh, thank God I found this, because now I'm just really unstoppable and I really understand this. And that's very important for all my clients to get that.
And how did you actually, because I know you said you've been doing it for 20 years, how did you actually start getting into this? Because it's been a concept around since pretty much the beginning of time, but a lot of people weren't really familiar for it. So how did you kind of get into it?
Well, I always knew at a really young age that I was always was kind of just born with this enthusiasm and curiosity about life, because I was like, oh my God, there's this big world out here, and it looks so exciting. And you, as a child, you see all this stuff, and you're like, I just can't wait to get into this, and I want to have like the most extraordinary life that I could possibly have. I really want to understand this and like have the best life ever. Now, this is something that I was thinking, like I said, when I was like 5 years old. So I really, with that curiosity, that kind of put me on the path for asking those important questions, if you will, and really inquiring about what does it entail, or how do I do that,
Right.
So when I was about 13, I started reading psycho-cybernetics. So it almost like, it's like I started my formal training at
Wow.
13, because I started reading that book, which is a really old book. My aunt gave it to me, and Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. I remember it so well. But I also remember reading it and being so inspired and excited by all the shares and the stories. And I was like, yeah, this sounds great. But I also remember crying a lot because I was like, I don't know how to do this,
Right.
and it wasn't working. And so I continued, to read stuff and learn things, etc., as much as I could. But I kept coming up with the same problem that I had with the Psycho-Cybernetics book. I was having problems with really finding the way through, if you will.
Gotcha.
So I took it upon myself to create my own system. Yeah. And that's exactly, what I did. And then of course I tested it and things like that. I wanted to really make this something that works every time, and that could be really relied on. And that's how the system got created. And I've used it my whole life. I mean, I'm a participant. Yeah. I'm a participant. So yeah, I'm just not just the author.
No, I think it's amazing, and I really feel like so many lives will be changed with this, and they already have apparently, but especially with this book coming out, I think so many more will, and that's an amazing thing for you to do and help with. And 2020 was one heck of a year, so it's a great way to start off fresh this year and make it a much, much healthier and better year for everybody. So.
And that's a good point that you're making, right? A lot of people felt like 2020 and all the circumstances and challenges there held them back from their lives, right? So a lot of them were like, oh my gosh, I feel like I was imprisoned in my own, life. And this big challenge called like 2020 and all that came with it has stopped me in so many ways. But I'm here to tell you that regardless of the circumstance, 2020 or any other circumstance that you feel like is stopping you, all of those are illusions that can be blown away. Yeah. So in other words, with my clients that I've worked with, and even for myself, because I'm a client of myself, if you will, never did the 2020 challenges ever factor in with our lives. Wow. In other words, we were able to live completely fully and do everything we wanted to, regardless of those circumstances. And that's really important to know. And that's the thing that a lot of my clients, well, all my clients actually get by working the system, is they can sort of distinguish that circumstance or that obstacle and have it like really adjust itself and move into alignment to what it is that they want to do. Right. So it doesn't have to be an opposing factor, or it doesn't have to stop you from achieving any and all of your goals. And it was like that for all of my clients. So we never even talked about, this COVID thing. It wasn't even factoring in with anything, and they're having such extraordinary results. Yeah. But it's just an illusion, these things that appear to stop us. And through that, they're able to just move through it as if it's just that, an illusion.
Well, that is some great news, because I'm guilty of that too. I was like, 2020, can't ruin everything, blah 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 blah. But to hear that so many people weren't like that and they're thriving more than ever, I think that's really good news for a lot of people. And hopefully, if more people start to do this and start to do your system, the better it will be for everybody, and it will just create this whole big positive everyone's lives so much better this year, and that's a great way to look forward to in 2021, you know?
Absolutely. And if everybody was actually, I have this beautiful vision. If everybody is doing the AOM system and everybody is living a fulfilled life, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, right? We would eradicate misery, we would eradicate fear,
Yeah.
and we would be one and we would collectively be connected. And there's nothing more powerful really than that.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. So I do have a dream. I have a mission to get this into everybody's hands because everybody should have a choice. Everybody should have a simple blueprint for manifesting anything they want in their lives. And if we can actually eliminate fear, which by the way, my clients tell me I have no more fear.
Oh, wow.
And it does eradicate all fear. And the reason why, and of course, get rid of fear in this world. Oh my gosh, we're just going to be celebrating all the time.
Yeah.
But the reason why they have no more fear in their life and they don't is because they know exactly what's going on. They can see clearly what the truth of everything is, and they know exactly what to do to create anything that they want, any outcome, any experience that they want. So if you have that, clearly, you wouldn't be fearful anymore.
Right. No, it's so true. And is like how big is the book? Like is it like you read one page, because I know it's a 30-day system. Do you read like one page a day or a few pages a day, or do you read the whole thing in one go? Like how does it actually work?
In the book, I realize there's going to be different readers.
Right.
But I do encourage everybody to read the book through first.
Okay.
And that way they can kind of digest this information and they've got their mind primed and, and they're thinking in the right kind of way, setting them up for actually doing the system. And then they can refer back. And
Gotcha.
the system is actually broken down into 4 parts.
Okay.
So the first part is that we heal the past and all traumas and disappointments and all that baggage, that seems to haunt us.
Yeah.
So when we do that, people actually feel like they've taken that negative charge out of those past experiences. And my clients always tell me, they go, oh, it's so great. I think back on those things and I just feel peace and I feel acceptance. And I'm like, no problem here.
Wow.
And that really frees them up and liberates them and sets them up to actually start to effectively create their future and their lives, right? And that's part 2. Then part 3 and 4 is about, okay, now it's about staying on track, right? So we don't get off track.
Right.
So a lot of manifestation books and information out there, they either devalue or not mention or emphasize how important it is to clear that past out.
Right.
And that's so important because what happens if we don't do that, then what happens is that we start going, oh, I want this and I want that, but oh my God, what if this happens again? What I don't want. And all the fears start coming up and people start getting confronted by that and they get stopped and they actually start manifesting again the very thing that they want to leave in the past because they're carrying around that energy and those concerns and those worries. It's like what you resist will persist. So if you're resisting that disappointment again and things like that, then that's the very thing that you're going to actually create because it's still persisting. So if we stop the persistence of it, it's not going to get created.
But it makes perfect sense. And, and I think that's why this book is so important because, I know this, but it's really hard for me to get over it and stuff. So I think with your guidance and your book, I think that would really kind of help a lot, and make it kind of see it a different way. And I even, like I said, I think it sounds amazing because I think it really will help so many people that have been struggling, and it sounds fairly easy enough for just about everyone to do.
Absolutely, it really is. I've gotten really great feedback thus far, even though it's a new release. But the interesting thing is that when people actually start to put this into practice, they actually see how easy it is, and they start to understand it. They're full of this understanding that they didn't have before. What they discover is that everything that they've been taught backwards. It's really quite reversed. So we're relearning how life works and what it is to be human, because life is really a series of what we create and our experience of what we create. Yeah. And that's all that it fundamentally is a series of creations and experiences. But what a lot of people don't realize is that they're the ones actually creating everything in their lives. Through this system actually allows people to really understand that and really see that clearly. And when they do, they go, oh my gosh. When they really understand it, not here, but really on a guttural level, then they're like, oh my gosh, I can create anything I want. So it's really exciting and powerful, and they do.
No, I just think it's amazing, and I'm so excited for this, and it's because it just came out a few days ago, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's the perfect timing. So this is really, like I said, I think everyone really just wants this year to be so much better for everybody, and there's so much hope, I think, this year, and so this is the perfect way to actually put that hope into motion and really make this year the best year yet, and then all the coming years even better than that, and like you said, really get rid of all the fears and everything that's been holding everyone back, and I think this is just the perfect way to do it, and I'm so excited for it, and I'm sure, like you said, you've already been receiving amazing response, and it's very new, so I mean, I can't wait for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, and it's time to reclaim our power.
Yes.
But the thing is that we were relying on externals for our lives. Yeah. And so we put our power over to external circumstances. And we need to reclaim this power. We don't have to rely on anybody. Then a lot of times people get, stopped because they're like, well, I don't have these outer resources. I'm not, old enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough talent. I don't have blah, 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 and they're waiting for the outside world to tell them otherwise. And they're just spinning around in a vicious circle and going nowhere fast. So this 2020 challenged a lot of people's faith. It challenged what they thought they knew to be so or true. So there's a breakdown there. But the beautiful thing about breakdowns is that there lies the seeds for a breakthrough. It gives us an opportunity to have a breakthrough. And so those of us that have been broken down over 2020, okay, your opportunity is here for that breakthrough, with the AOM System, Manifestation Mastery in 30 days.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. And where can people actually buy the book?
You can find it on Amazon. We're adding it to Barnes and Nobles as well, and all local bookstores, and all of that's in process. But right now, you can definitely get a Kindle version or the paperback version on Amazon around the world, and that's available now. And you should have it within a couple of days because Amazon's pretty quick about these things.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. And where can people actually follow you and keep up to date? Because I know a lot of people will probably want to call you and set up private things, like you said, group meetings, seminars, everything. So where can people actually get a hold of you?
You can find that on the website. Anybody out there can find that on the website, getyourlifenow.com. I always encourage people to read the testimonials. They're very exciting. The homepage has a video testimonial for some of my clients, and the services are located on the service page. I offer many modalities, including a video series as well. So all that information is there. I do encourage people to listen to blogtalkradio.com/Sterling Mire, because some of the interviews, all the interviews are amazing, but some of the interviews with my clients are on there as well. So I've had somebody I interviewed 5 years ago. They did this and they got everything in their life out of the system. And she came back just to say, like, oh my God, this is still working for me. Wow. So it's an investment that will pay off for the rest of your life. And it is everything you'll ever need to know. I will give you that information, everything you'll ever need to know to manifest. You don't need anything else. I mean, my client on the last interview said the same thing. I never need to look anywhere else again after she exhausted so many resources. So I encourage people to go on there and learn more as well.
Yeah, well, I can't thank you enough for doing this and for being on and sharing everything you've learned with everybody and making the world such a better place. So thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Corey, for having me here. It's been a pleasure and a privilege.
Thank you. It was very nice meeting you, and I'd love to have you back on later. And hopefully, once I do the system and everything too, I can have you back on and we could talk about it. So.
Oh my God, I would love that. That'd be
Yes.
so exciting.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Sterling. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too. And thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you and God bless.